like you, I want to recognize the 2 years since October 7th, 2023. Just a few days after that, I was in Jerusalem, had a chance to personally witness the heartache, the trauma, the damage that was done on that day. And I hope, like the chairman, that the president's actions will lead to a lasting peace. Then, thank you. Good morning to our witnesses, and congratulations on your nominations. And I'd like to welcome the family members who are here in the competition for Best Behaved Child Under 10. So thank you very much. Mr. No, you are nominated to be Assistant Secretary of Defense for Indo-Pacific Security Affairs. You currently serve as Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for East Asia and previously served on the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party and as an Army Infantry officer. Bravo. I trust your experience gives you a clear understanding of the strategic challenges that we face in the Indo-Pacific. Over the past decade, China has aggressively expanded its military, economic, and political influence while testing American resolve across the region. The United States does not seek conflict with China, but we have vital interests that must be protected through credible deterrence and strong alliances. Our partnerships with Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and the Philippines, among others, remain the cornerstone of regional stability. I am concerned, however, that the Trump administration has undermined years of progress with these allies, threatening troop withdrawals, scaling back joint exercises, imposing erratic tariffs, and diverting our strategic forces to unrelated regions and even domestic military deployments. These actions weaken our deterrence and damage trust with our allies. Mr. No, I would like to know how you would work to repair these relationships and strengthen America's position in the Indo-Pacific. Mr. Young, you are nominated to be General Counsel of the Department of the Army. After having served as the acting General Counsel of the Department of Defense during the first 6 months of the Trump administration. In that position, you advised on several controversial and potentially, in the view of several courts, unlawful decisions that this committee must consider. In June, the administration deployed U.S. Marine Corps and National Guard forces to Los Angeles against the governor's wishes, a decision that a federal district court has determined to be a violation of federal law and the Constitution. We understand that, as acting general counsel, you asserted no legal objection to the deployment, nor did you produce a written opinion on it. You also gave the approval for a March 30th U.S. military flight that transported migrants from Guantanamo Bay to El Salvador without any civilian law enforcement officers or DHS officials present, a violation of immigration law and explicit judicial orders. I've asked the Defense Department's Inspector General to investigate this incident. Finally, I'm deeply concerned about any role you played in advising on the legality of recent military strikes off Venezuela's coast. I have made my skepticism of this operation clear, and I do not believe it comports with international law. Mr. Young, if confirmed, you will confront serious questions about the rule of law, civilian control of the military, and the limits of executive power. And I know you will provide full and forthcoming testimony on these matters today. Mr. Lane, you are nominated to be General Counsel of the Department of the Air Force. This position has a broad scope of responsibilities, including serving as a legal advisor to the Secretary of the Air Force and other officers within the department, as well as the chiefs of the Air Force and Space Force and their staffs. If confirmed, you will be tasked with providing legal service throughout the entire department in a variety of disciplines, including fiscal law, ethics, dispute resolution, environmental law, labor law, and litigation. In addition, the General Counsel exercises oversight of intelligence and other sensitive activities and investigations. These are wide-ranging and complex challenges that will require astute legal guidance. I would ask that you share how you plan to approach these issues and what objectives you have for this important position. Finally, Mr. Beck, you are nominated to be Deputy Administrator for Defense Programs of the National Nuclear Security Administration. If confirmed, you will help lead the effort to modernize the warheads that form our nuclear triad. This modernization is one of the most complex and consequential undertakings in our national defense. The NNSA faces enormous pressure as it simultaneously updates aging warhead programs and rebuilds infrastructure that, in some cases, dates back to the Manhattan Project. Central to the mission is the NNSA's highly skilled workforce of nuclear scientists and engineers. Yet morale across the agency has suffered in recent months as hundreds of employees have been fired, threatened with termination, or rehired in a disorganized manner. These disruptions have undermined confidence and stability at a time when continuity is essential. If confirmed, you will bear responsibility not only for the technical success of these programs, but for the people who make them possible. Mr. Beck, I would like to know how you would work to restore trust, retain experts, and ensure that political interference does not compromise the integrity of this critical mission. Thank you again to our nominees, and I look forward to testimonies. Thank you, Mr.